When it comes to internet and the advancement of human race, it is very well known that the internet plays a major role in making sure that the human race is advanced. And therefore, we will talk about something which happened last week, and India is definitely in the middle of the whole of this news item, and it's about taking the internet to the masses. So going forward, I want to tell you that this video is sponsored by Performance Works International. More about them in a bit. My name is Chandrakant, and you are watching Akul Mac Live. So you might have heard about this company called OneWeb. It's a UK-based company which is a contemporary to Elon Musk's Starlink initiative, and this company, laid down the plan pretty much like Starlink to cover the Earth with their satellite. And fortunately, they have also launched 300 satellites in the lower Earth orbit. And now this company went into some financial crisis, and then there was a bailout plan which was offered. And in the middle of all this, one Indian company called Bharti Global, which is the company behind Airtel, has gone and acquired 42% of the stakes in this company called OneWeb. And the other stakeholder in this company is UK government. And recently, if you remember, friends, we had covered this agreement between UK and India, where there was a commitment between two governments to promote jointly the business of respective countries and rely on each other more and more. So I think this is a great example where a company from India and the UK government has shown initiative and acquired the majority stakes in this company called OneWeb. And therefore, the Airtel Global, or I beg your pardon, it's not Airtel Global, it is the Bharti Global, which also owns Airtel, will have decision-making power, or will have a stake in the board of directors to decide the future stakes. So going forward, the technology of OneWeb is slightly different from the Starlink. The Starlink satellites operate at 400 kilometers height, but the OneWeb satellites will be placed at 1200 kilometers height, which is also a lower Earth orbit, but slightly higher than the Starlink satellite mesh. The reason being that the satellites will be able to cover wider area, and considering the debris cluster which rotates around the Earth, the satellites will be at a much safer distance at 1200. So that is a rationale given by this company, and up to 300 satellites are already in space, already providing services to polar regions, etc. The big news is that the Bharti Global has signed up with Isro to launch the remaining 328 satellites, where Isro PSLV and GSLV, which stands for Polar Vehicle and the Geostationary Vehicle, these two spacecraft will be used to launch the future satellites, which is 328. As per the planning done by OneWeb, they would need about 628 satellites to cover the entire Earth, and they will be able to provide projected broadband services on the surface of the Earth. Now, the advantage in this technology is there is no need to lay cables, and you can actually get the internet connectivity directly beamed onto your devices. So this is why this is a fantastic technology, and I think the world is moving towards that. The answer to lay cable across different parts of the Earth is not a viable solution. So I think this is a better solution by just launching less expensive satellites and cover the Earth, create an environment, and then you can access your web services from anywhere. That has been the challenge right now, because it's difficult to lay cables across the land and oceans and all that. Whereas if the signals are coming from the space, you can access the internet services from pretty much anywhere. And the other big news is that OneWeb is also one of the major player behind recently launched Indian Space Association. The Indian Space Association is a private body which will actually help Government of India to form the legal framework around the space launches and space technology transfers, and also create the ecosystem for building the space parts in India. And this is a company which is one of the major proponent of creating this association called Indian Space Association. So I think there's a lot of stuff which is going on. So ISRO is now playing a part. ISRO will be launching OneWeb satellites starting from next year, middle of next year, and remaining 328 satellites will be launched with the help of ISRO, PSLV and GSLV. And the Indian Space Association is also, helping. Initiative is also going to help OneWeb initiative. So now coming back to Airtel, it is going to bring a big boost to Airtel services, because the MD of Airtel, the head of Airtel network, the entire business, Mr. Sunil Mittal, has already said that by end of next year, by end of 2022, Airtel will be able to provide the broadband services across the oceans, across the land, across rivers, anywhere in India, starting from next year end. And I think this is an initiative by which I think they had the foresight to go ahead and acquire a company which was available at that point in time. And they also offered a bailout mechanism to OneWeb, which has already done so much work and so much research in this area. So now, friends, I think the interesting part is that the competition between Starlink and OneWeb is heating up, because now it is backed by the Indian entrepreneur. India is growing at the rate of 8.5% as projected by IMF. So Indian subcontinent is really growing faster than any other country. The India is at 8.5, China is at 5, US is at 5.2. So I think how India actually takes the world along is really something that we have to see. And that is why this whole global race pegs down to Indian success. So that is why I'm saying that the competition between Starlink and OneWeb, which is Bharti network, is heating up. It's going to become a very big thing. We have to see what Reliance do to counter this business threat. And in the end, because of this, the consumers will gain a lot of benefit. Obviously, the cost of getting the internet high-speed broadband services anywhere across the length and breadth of our country will be reduced because of this competition. So before I go, I like to say that we are live right now, and you can engage with us by giving your messages, sending your messages. And if you want us to cover some specific subjects which are related to education, science and technology, do write in and we will cover that as a subject. Before I go, a word from our sponsor.
This video is sponsored by Performance Works International.
Are you ready for the challenges facing the modern workplace? Recent events have taught us the importance of transformation. Businesses now face a perfect storm of challenges. No business is too big to fail, and many are too slow to succeed. Our workforce is changing fast. We're entering a new age of empowerment, and everyone can contribute. The Inner CEO reveals how we can all play a part in making leading at all levels a reality. Written by Jeremy Blain, an expert on business transformation and growth, it provides a roadmap to help everyone unleash their inner CEO and contribute beyond their job role, whatever their level. Traditionally, strategy has been owned by the few. Now it's time for the many to contribute. Leadership must come from a broader base. Everyone has the potential to step up and make things happen. It's a new model of collective and collaborative leadership which unleashes the power of people, enabled by appropriate technology and a supportive management structure. The book provides a roadmap for a bold new age of empowerment. Supported by a range of resources, the book provides a toolkit to help anyone unleash their inner CEO. Organisation health, development and growth is owned at all levels. Are you ready to unleash the inner CEO?